So hey, I don't know if you know this, but choices have consequences. I'm not categorizing the choices I made on the cruise as right or wrong or good or bad. They just are the choices that I made. And I didn't make them flippantly or arbitrarily. I went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Should I be 100% carnivore on the cruise just to show it could be done? I could have. But I wanted some low carb desserts. I went back and forth with myself for weeks before finally making my decisions. And then once I had made my decision, I stayed within those boundaries on the cruise. So there were 3 choices that I made. The first one was to eat a low carb dessert if there was one on offer. There wasn't always one on offer, but anytime that there was, I definitely ate it and thoroughly enjoyed it. But the consequence of that is that my blood sugar was higher. It actually went all the way up to 103 one morning, which is crazy high for me. And my ketones, as of this morning, are down to 0.2. Also, around 5 p.m. every single day, I start craving sweets. Normally, I don't do that. That's not something that happens to me. It's Shark Week. So sometimes that happens around Shark Week. I just want chocolate. But this is an intense craving, one that I have not felt, for probably 2 years or more. It's really intense and it's really hard to say no to. And in the swag bag we got from the low carb cruise, there were some Chalk Zero white chocolate peanut butter cups, and they were very delicious. And I knew there is no way I can move forward until all of these are gone. So legit, I ate like 7 of them yesterday just to get them out of the house. So they're out of the house. I'm done with sweets. But now I have to sort of claw my way back up to baseline and get rid of this sugar craving or sweet craving. It's really not even sugar. It's just the sweet taste. And I don't like having cravings that I feel out of control about. The second choice that I made was to drink alcohol. Now, normally in my daily life, I don't drink alcohol because my husband doesn't really drink and I don't want to drink alone. I actually did go through a few years where I was drinking a lot and drinking alone. I wouldn't say I was ever an alcoholic, but it certainly did become a problem to me because I didn't want that. I didn't want that life. I didn't want those calories primarily. And I didn't want what it was doing to my liver. So I've pretty much stopped drinking. I'll have an occasional glass of wine or 2 or 3 here or there, but nothing like on the cruise. So I had brought 2 bottles of wine with me. Dawn doesn't drink, so both bottles were for me. I bought a bucket of the truly hard seltzer, which are only 2 grams of carbs a piece. And with the galley tour and the Roaring Twenties party, both of which had free champagne, I would say I had maybe 2 bottles of champagne. So 4 bottles of wine or wine-like products, and then 5 cans of the truly hard seltzer. That's a lot for 7 days, but I had a great time. Never got drunk. A little bit tipsy, but I know my limits and I didn't go beyond them. I didn't feel sick. I did bring activated charcoal to take before bed so that any residual toxins would be bound up and I'd just be able to pass them instead of it really affecting me and making me feel bad. But I certainly do not feel my best. I did not feel my best on the cruise, and I do not feel my best now. I did damage to my brain and my liver. Guaranteed I did damage to my brain and my liver. It just comes along with alcohol. And I also drank empty calories. Couple thousand empty calories. Fun calories, but totally empty, devoid of nutrition. And that's not what I'm about these days. But it was vacation, and it was the choice that I made. The third choice I made was to eat more variety. So I pretty much know my boundaries, what I can eat, what I can't eat, to function and not be crippled. And there was a whole lot of temptation, a whole lot on offer. And I was very, very cautious because I did not want to lose the ability to walk on a cruise. I didn't bring crutches, nothing. So I had to be fairly strict, but I did eat way more variety than I do in my normal life. I had guacamole a couple of days, some cheese, which I don't normally have. I had capers with my smoked salmon. I had a little bit of tomatoes here and there, a little bit of onions and some things. I'm not sure if there was anything but butter in the escargot, but it seems to me there was a thickening agent, so there might have been a little bit of flour in that. There's no way to guarantee that even the proteins that I ate were cooked cleanly. In the main dining room, I think they were, because I told them I have major reactions to seed oils, so please don't cook my proteins in anything but butter. Olive oil is fine, but butter is best. And like the eggs in the morning at the buffet had a funny taste to me, and I think they might have been cooked in crappy oil. And when we went to the galley tour, we noticed they had these spray bottles of non-stick, like butter flavored non-stick stuff, and that's all lame seed oils. So I definitely got more bad oils in this past week than I have in the past 2 years. It wasn't enough to throw me into a full-blown autoimmune cascade, but I definitely do not feel my best. I had indigestion the last 2.5 days of the cruise, and I've had indigestion the last 2 days back home as well, which I did not expect. And for me, heartburn usually comes with headache. So I don't just get one or the other, I get both. And I actually had to ask my mother for Tums so the cruise ended Sunday. I came home. And then Monday, I drove 7 hours one way to pick up my children from my parents. And then Tuesday, I drove 7 hours back home with the children. And so really, my vacation, the whole, being away, everything is not right, ended last night. So today's Wednesday. Today is the day that I'm resetting myself. I really, really need a reset. That's why I asked my mom for Tums, and it was expired, but it worked. I haven't had to take Tums in like 5 years because my journey has been going on for a really long time. The carnivore section has only been the last 1.5 years, maybe 2 years off and on. But I've been keto for a really long time. And, when you're keto, you really don't need heartburn medicine. And to need that now was very aggravating for me. I was like, what did I do to myself? And those are the 3 choices that I made on my cruise and the consequences that are resulting from them. I gained 2 pounds. So I was 170 when I left. I'm 172 now. Big deal. Like I said, it's Shark Week, so there's some extra weight and bloating going on with that. I also gained 2 inches, which I'm not thrilled about. But again, could be the bloating. Doesn't necessarily have to mean I gained fat. I really don't think that I did. But, I've been saying that I'm stuck. I'm in a stall. I'm in a stall for the past year. And it's true. I went from about 200 pounds when I got the autoimmune and started the carnivore lifestyle, and pretty quickly got down to 170 last April. But now it's June of 2023, and I have been at 170 this whole time since April of 2022. So I'm reframing my thinking. Instead of saying I've been stalled for a year, I'm just going to say I've maintained my weight loss for the past year. And like I said, I tried to do a cut. I'll show you my measurements from the start of the cut to the end of the cut to now. And just spoiler alert, there's no change. I tried pretty hard. Not my hardest. Definitely not my hardest. But I tried pretty hard, and I worked out a lot, and I ate very cleanly. I'm showing you what I'm eating every day, and nothing happened. Nothing moved. So basically, I have maintained my weight loss for the past year. I am not interested in hitting it hard and trying to cut right now. I'm just not. What I want to do is heal my body. But I don't think I did everything wrong on the cruise. There were some choices that I made that I think have good consequences. Number 1, I stayed meat-based. I was pretty much 80% meat or proteins, meat, eggs, and then 10% sweets, like the low carb desserts, and 10% alcohol, I would say. I took the stairs as much as possible. I walked as much as possible. I worked out at the gym twice. I did the 5K. I was not idle. I wasn't just sitting around being lazy. I was moving my body, trying to get in some steps. I actually did over 20,000 steps one day, which is pretty good and way more than I normally get. And I also maintained my disciplined schedule the whole time. So Dawn is a night owl. I'm an early bird. And so she was like, come on, come out with me, come to the top. And I was like, no, I'm going to sleep. Like, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could. I'd just be a zombie. So I went to bed at 10 o'clock to 10:30 every single night. Doesn't mean I fell asleep right away because it was kind of hard, new environment and everything. But I had my little sleep mask and, tried to block out the world. And I woke up at 6 a.m. every single day, sometimes earlier, because the coffee room service is free and I would order that for 6 a.m. But they would call me at like 5:50 and I'm thinking, no, this is not what I want. So I moved it to 6:30 and that was perfect. I at least had time to wake up and get some pants on. But I think I did pretty well maintaining my schedule and I feel pretty rested. The last time I went on a cruise, I felt like I needed a vacation for my vacation. But this time, even though I drove 14 hours in the past 2 days and sat a lot, and I didn't get more than 2,000 steps yesterday. So not doing very great so far, but I feel okay. I don't feel my best, but I feel okay considering all the choices that I made. And I'm glad that I made the choices that I made because I got to let loose and enjoy sweets for a little bit. But true story, choices come with consequences, and that's what I'm dealing with now. And I'm going to reset myself, and I will tell you all about that on Sunday. If you haven't seen the 2023 low carb cruise review from Dawn and I, you can check it out here.
And please don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Until next time, stay beautiful, friends.